So why are we told to use presets when all the professionals are doing the opposite, where they create their own presets, they understand color? This held me back when I started as well, where I was editing very much in circles, trying to use presets, always just wanting to create my own presets, get my own style, because every single photographer that I like and that I follow has really consistent edits in a style they've curated in Lightroom. And in this video, I want to show you the big unlock I had around color, because once you understand color, it is the foundation for everything else. It really unlocks Lightroom. Color, it gives us the ability to control the mood, the story, the feeling, the energy in our photos, out shooting and in editing, and we can also combine the two to create the signature look that we want to our photography. And that, I feel, is only possible when you have a really great grasp on color, because there's a lot more than what you think, and at the end of this video you'll have way more control over color, the feeling, the story, the energy in your images, and if you get really good, the consistent feed. So a deep dive into color, everything you need to know, but I'm going to take a slightly different approach so that you can really learn color and understand why it's so important if you want to advance as a photographer. And yeah, let's get into it. We're going to cover in-camera color harmonies and Lightroom editing color harmonies. I've never seen someone make a video showing or linking the two, because that's what a preset is trying to implant one of these color harmonies. So we're trying to capture them in camera, but we're also making them from scratch in editing. Because shooting color harmonies is very different to editing color harmonies. You want to do both, but it's important to know the difference. So if you've ever met someone that just has a great eye, that influencer with an iPhone that just seems to point at stuff and get great images, they know this. This just comes really naturally to them, but there is science behind it, and once you learn the science or the reasoning behind it, you will then let your eye be trained to just have a good eye. Here we are in Adobe Color, so we have Analogous. They should have Analogous Extended, which is what I really like, which is actually just the whole half of the color wheel. If we come to custom, it's like this. It's literally half of the color wheel. I really like that one. It should be in here. Something like that. In nature, you'll see a lot of Analogous, because green is always next to blue. The sun with the trees, you see a lot of this side of the color wheel. The cool side in nature, not so much this side, but they tend to be next to each other in the color wheel. Okay, if I was a wedding photographer, this is the color harmony I would use. Another really talented wedding photographer teaching within the course. Now might be a good time to point out white and black are neutral colors, but the feelings associated with white and black is like pure and luxury. So I think that's why it's used for weddings anyway. So they work for any color scheme. So you can actually click white and insert it into your color scheme that you're making. If you click white or black. So this color theme is again analogous. We've got yellow and greens. So no reds, no purples, no deep blue. So we come across an image. So this is just, to me, this is just really, really nice colors. And now it becomes extended analogous. We don't have that in here, which is very annoying, but it looks like this. So I really like this. The colors look absolutely great. So we sometimes get a normal analogous or extended analogous, and it can go all the way to one half of a color wheel, and it looks great. So here in Lightroom, we're just bringing down the greens, so it's not overpowering this yellow and light blue color scheme here. Okay, want to watch out for that, just balancing them, but super, super beautiful color scheme here. And the blacks are extra black, which I love. So you really can jump around color themes, extended analogous, and then a tighter analogous, and then sometimes it could be split complementary, almost his style. I really like this image, the color in these ones. So he's done a great job of selecting this image with reds, green, So it becomes a bit of a split complementary, this image. And since your dominant color is a yellow, it can look really great. You can sort of pick out details that are more monochromatic or very tight analogous. And then you'll also see it in landscape. Some people go for like a brown analogous color scheme. A color scheme like this with oranges and browns. It might be about removing other colors so that your main color sits above. So it depends what's captured in the shot, but you need to make your dominant colors stand out a bit more. So before, no color palette, and then we just really bring in this color palette here. See, if there's too many blues, we're kind of losing this color scheme up here. So you need to reduce the blues just enough, not too much that it looks unnatural, but just enough that this is this color scheme here. So a good example of analogous is Emma's work. So she gets a bit of greens, this light blue, and round to a deep blue. Now you can see that in this image. So she goes out to a pretty washed out, warm looking shot, and then she really brings out the blues and then shifts them to more of a deep blue. And then all our colors are in this spectrum to make sure we get this analogous color scheme. You'll see her greens are pushed way more towards this light blue, and you'll see this a lot where a lot of people's styles have a mixture of color themes. So you'll see not many oranges, not many reds, and then you'll see in some images there is a little bit of yellow, but yellow is so complementary to her blues, which is the main color. So then she just gets a bit of a complementary split going on. The skin tones go a little bit yellow or a little bit pink. We don't see much red. So some images don't have the color palette in the shot, but you can see in the blacks of the hair, for example, you can see there's a deep blue in there. And then sometimes that deep blue is complementing some yellows that you can see here in the color wheel. So you want to bring out your main color. So you can do it in HSL here like Emma. So you'll see most often either complementary, so that is two colors that is opposite in the color wheel, so it'll be quite striking. And then there's compound, it's kind of like split complementary. You'll see this quite a bit, but not even realize it's a color palette. And then there is split complementary, so you'll see this a lot as well. Okay, split complementary here. So this is where we'd want to bring down the luminance of the blues so we get more blue in the sky. So reset, you can see that we're massively improving the color palette here. So if we don't drop the luminance, we don't get the sky there. Just a little bit brings out that orange and teal. So Dean here has a really great orange and teal color scheme. So we've got orange and teal in the original edit. So we've got the sand, we've got her hair, we've got the blue jeans, and we've got the blue water. But we're also enhancing it in editing. So we've obviously identified these two great colors, and we're just really enhancing. This is almost complementary split. Her hair's a bit more red, sand's a bit more yellow. And there's really obvious orange and teal moments like this one, just because of the sand hitting the ocean and the sky. And then you just want to really enhance that. So we're really bringing out the blue tones here. This image is Josh Ball. So here we are just bringing up the blues. And you can see it looks way better with the blues really brought up. And then the yellow is really brought up. So we get that orange or that yellow and teal. Orange and teal, we're getting that color contrast. So again, you got to reduce the colors that aren't in your color palette. In camera, pretty washed out. We bring back all the color. We get something more like this. And I also love Cam's work. So she usually leans towards orange and teal, but it's more of a yellow warmth to a very light teal. So if we reset, reducing the blues, bringing out the warm tones, and doing it mostly by adding in some warm tones with split toning. Monochromatic, so that's just one dominant color of different shades. I really like that one, it's pretty easy. So shooting either at blue hour or sunset, you'll see this a lot where the sun just washes out all these warm tones, or in blue hour, you get all these blues, very beginner. So monochromatic, we can reset,
bring it back. You can see we just remove all those blues because we want to keep that really warm color scheme. So really bringing up the warmth can just introduce so much of this orange tone, and then you just have to balance it and you get this really nice. I love these. I love the colors Ethan gets. And then the same approach with Jolanda. So like it's kind of cold, kind of blue, but let's bring up the warmth a lot until we have almost a monochromatic look. And then I love Marcella's colors too, very monochromatic, not 100% but very close. And then if we reset, you can see we're stripping out the blues, taking out the greens. Now it's hard to get a monochromatic look if your in-camera colors aren't somewhat close to monochromatic. Triad's getting a bit more tricky. Okay, let's talk about Triad. Now this is not Triad, but one of my favorite photographers, he always makes his images very almost monochromatic. So if there's blue in the original image, makes it very blue. Same photographer, so if the original is very warm, he will edit it to be very warm. And then if there's greens, so shooting monochromatically in camera and then really enhancing that in editing. But now if we look at his feed is Triad. So treating his images individually as complementary or monochromatic, and then treating his feed as Triad. So you're kind of thinking as your feed as one photo as well. And then there's Square. I find it quite hard to pull that off, but I do see it sometimes. So for beginners, I'd say Analogous, Monochromatic, and Complementary are the easiest beginner kind of color palettes. So yeah, I personally just love seeing how awesome photographers get their styles. So that's why I invited and teamed up and paid them to share their raw images, their settings, their adjustments, and them personally share exactly how they get those styles all in one place, so we can see lots of different approaches and styles. Because there is no right way, just the way you want to do it. And we've just been condensing a crazy amount of talented photographers' processes into one place where we can just download and follow along, and nothing is hidden from us. I wanted people to learn how I learned, so that's why I invited all these amazing photographers to one place with a common goal of just breaking down color themes. And you'll be surprised how much learning Lightroom helps you when you're shooting, knowing how colors will register in Lightroom. But that's it for this one.